The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised. And good evening, everyone. Welcome to McStabber Studios, Kansas City, a domain divided. I am the storyteller, I think, Shanky McStabber.
And I am Mama McStabber, and I'll be playing Dr. Katerina Riccozzi of Clan Zamitzi.
And I'm Dale, and I'll be playing Callum McFarlane of Clan Ventura.
I'm Ree, and I'll be playing Rashad Giovanni of the Hakata.
I'm House. I play Bo Solomon of Clan Toreador.
Hi, I'm Mischievous Red, and I'm playing Gwen Schultz of the Ministry.
First of all, welcome everyone to Season 2, Episode 2. Last week, well, the bill came due on a reservation that Becky had with Callum's restaurant. And unfortunately, that bill included firebombing owls, which I don't think anyone expected, because his building was burnt to the ground. And 3 of his staff members were killed in the attack. Of course, that leaves them trying to figure out what they have to do to respond to that. But that is not where we start. Tonight, we start a few days after the events. Time is fluid, of course. It's a few days, give or take a day or two. And we're going to open up with Gwen and Bo have gathered. Where are you practicing at? That is my first question.
I feel like probably at the Coterie Haven.
Okay.
Because there's a warehouse space.
You're at the logistics place practicing knives of all things. And I'm going to turn it over to the two of you to have your conversation while you're working on your knife skills.
Bo would take out a chef's bag, but rather than filled with kitchen knives, it would have various forms of like combat knives. Pick your poison.
Gwen will pick one at random, honestly. She's just gonna practice going with whatever's available to her. What about you?
Bo does the same. If you're going random, I'll go random. How proficient is Gwen with knife work?
I've only got 1 dot.
Yep. So Bo would probably like give her some basics. I mean, as far as at least what's worked for him go over how to sharpen a knife if she wasn't aware. If she was, great, super. They can ignore that. And I don't want to say actually going at it, but like training, working on, lunging, slashing, stabbing, all the fun stuff you do with knives. And how not to stab yourself.
At some point, Gwen will ask, are you still hearing music?
I haven't used that. I haven't had any premonitions since then, so no, but.
Can you do it at will? Why don't you try?
I will use premonition.
Okay, so that is a resolve all specs roll. And then, of course, arouse too, but do that after you make your roll.
Yeah.
Wow. 6 with a critical. That's on 4 dice, by the way. Critical success. That is a hellacious roll. And as you look into that other sight, the other world of premonitions, the first thing that hits you is a funeral dirge. Very mournful, very sorrowful. It washes through you like a wave. You can feel the pain of whatever it is. But underlying it all, there's a hint of betrayal. There's a hint of maybe even a little passion in there somewhere. But it seems to build and build until at some point the passionate part of the music is overriding the funeral dirge itself. And in a massive crescendo of almost violent musical combination of the two battling, suddenly it returns back to the funeral dirge. This one slower paced, but it brings a tear to your eye and you don't know why.
I'm assuming a bloody tear.
Oh yes, that's all you cry is bloody tears.
I think for a moment, Bo kind of forgot Gwen was there. So like he didn't try and hide it, but he does wipe it away. Yes, I still hear it.
Do you want to talk about it?
The problem with premonitions that are just sound now, a little more challenging to interpret. At least when I had visions, it felt easier to grasp. I could make more connections. This was definitely, it was more an emotion. I mean, I could try and make guesses. And I'd relay what, like the description of the music that I heard and kind of the progression. But unfortunately, it feels like something that I might just have to let come to us.
Maybe you should listen to operas, classical music, things like that. It'll give you a broader range to go off of.
It's not a bad idea.
I mean, you're good with the kindred iconography or whatever. You're always talking about that, but maybe you'll pick something up in sound. I don't know how that works.
I mean, I think like any skill, it takes practice, and the more I use it, the more it might develop. So, developing my musical tastes might do the same with this alteration.
So what are you going to do about it? About them?
I'm assuming by them you mean, don't want to say new friends. I don't know if we're in quite that spot, but the new players.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything to do. I feel like this is, if information worth sharing is acquired, certainly I think it's to our benefit to make it allies. If that's allies, I feel like implies equal footing. We're not on equal footing with them, but to at least be in their good graces.
Are you not going to try and go out of your way to get that information?
That's not my strong suit. I'm more than happy to help, but information seems to be your specialty, Gwen.
It most certainly is. Rashad and Kat have made it very clear that engaging is not a good idea. And so I would rather not do that on my own. If it's a byproduct of what I do, I that's different.
While I might not be good at gathering information, that's not to say I'm not curious either, and my curiosity is certainly piqued. So if I can help you in any way with the sisters, I'm more than happy to at least talk through that more. But it's not a coincidence that I started hearing music after encountering them. My premonitions have changed after encountering them. I feel like that's a sign that I shouldn't ignore.
So I guess my question is then, the way you're talking, it seems like you're not going to focus on them, but rather the music they hear. Are you trying to hear what
I'm,
they hear, see what they see, that type of thing, rather than engage with them?
I don't know if this is answering your question, but I want to see where the music leads me.
That's a yes.
Fair.
That seems like a much harder avenue than the information route, and probably much more dangerous. If they can't figure out what's messing with the music and they have all these years of experience with the music, not that they're scared of it, but that does lend credence to maybe it is more powerful, stronger, whatever it may be, than them. And we were told not to mess with them. I can only imagine what that would be. And following the music would lead you right to it.
I'm going to look at this a little more optimistically and hope that maybe it's their machinations that have altered my perceptions, my visions, my premonitions. And until I'm proven otherwise, that's how I'm going to look at it. But that said, if you do want to be an information tool for them, you'll have my support.
It's going to be an information tool, anyways. Kind of the business I wanted to start. I came up with a name actually.
Oh,
Laylap Solutions.
sounds official.
It's a mythological dog, a hunter. He
Sounds
always
fitting.
finds what he's after.
I hope you take this the way I intend it. That seems very fitting for you, Gwen.
That was why I picked it. But I'll probably end up stumbling across something. I fully expect there's a lot of information out there, but people tend to find, well, one person tends to find it, someone else tends to find it too. And I fully expect that to either be them or someone in their network or the NOS, someone. So we'll probably end up running into somebody eventually.
Very strange how the NOS interacted the other day. I mean, I don't know much about them outside of, I'll say, general knowledge, but for a group that's supposed to be neutral, it seemed like they've picked a side.
I don't know that it's that they've picked a side. It seems more that like they're not neutral, but they aren't standing on the sidelines either. They
I don't know.
haven't declared a side.
Letting Kat's brother hide in their ranks feels like one step in that direction. Maybe not a big step, but a step nonetheless.
We all know that they wouldn't do the same thing for us, though. I feel like it's a highest bidder type of thing, rather than them explicitly.
Yeah, but how much
to them?
But what's the high bid right now?
That's fair.
Is it one we can match or exceed?
Is it one we would want to even?
That too. And that might be worth finding out.
I mean, in a war, I feel like you can have allies like that, but you know they're going to sell you out the second they can.
Right.
Maybe the solution's to sell them out first, if there was to be a deal.
Or maybe finding someone who's willing to sell them out. Play them at their own game. I can't imagine there's not one member of their clan who's happy with what they're doing.
Yeah. But even then, it'd be hard to convince them to separate,
True.
be disloyal.
True.
From what I've heard, they're very close-knit in that way. But there, of course, are exceptions.
I'd like to think there's someone who knows if a war is on their doorsteps, they might want to do everything they can to avoid it. And even playing neutral, war will find them. Whether they're collateral or on a side.
That's probably why they're doing what they are.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to force it in the direction they want it to go. We've talked about information gathering, war, all this stuff. It's funny to think that how you're not just a chef, but like a chef doesn't really fit into that whole scheme.
My hope, as much as food is my art and my calling, it's also influence. Being a chef at the level that I want to be leads to powerful friends, people who want what I create. And when you make friends like that, that could lead to information. Maybe not in the means you're doing, but I think there is a mutual benefit to getting people connected to what I provide as a service and as a creation.
It's a good reminder about the other half of war. There's the war we're seeing here. Then there's the war that was going on in Chicago of a sorts, where it was that more social influence hidden side of things.
And that's where I will be more useful.
That is probably one strength that we have over them, is that we do have some experience with that. And while no, it doesn't make a difference in the court here necessarily, that does provide information as to, I guess, things that could hold them up potentially.
Where wrenches can be stuck where they don't want wrenches stuck.
Yeah.
So, no, I might not be the info expert that you are, but I could still be of use to you.
I wasn't saying that.
No,
I was
no,
just saying the
no.
contradiction was weird.
Right. Excuse me. My point more being that while I was being a little more self-deprecating on my skill there, it's just less traditional, maybe.
In our take on the city, our bid for notice, I guess, we should always remember that there are that avenue as well as the physical one. It seems easily lost in the physical here.
And that's why it's important we expand beyond our current domain, if possible. I don't think logistics is any of our calling.
Involved in everything.
But glad we had this chat, Gwen.
Me too, Bob. I'll let you know if I hear anything. We'll see.
And I'll keep you posted if I hear anything.
In the more literal sense.
And as the door opens and Rashad steps in, because you have somewhere you're planning to go tonight, we're going to flash over to Kat and Callum. You're riding in Kat's car right now, heading out to Kat's property, where you're supposed to meet Merrick Dunn, who happens to be the counselor of the Wild. He said he would meet you at the property.
Mm-hmm.
So I turn it over to you two for the car ride over.
Thanks for accompanying me, Callum. We'll be meeting with the counselor of the Wild, Merrick Dunn. The property I'm getting is outside the city, so I'm wanting to make sure that there's no issues with Blue Pine, with where I'm building.
That's a good consideration.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate you letting me join you.
Yeah.
It's a needed distraction.
I figured you would probably need one. Absolutely. It's quite a bit of acreage.
I'm excited to see it. I'm a fan of wide open spaces myself. So
Yeah, it's an interesting property. It's actually bordered. It has some water on the property, but it actually is bordered by forest. But the property itself was cleared. There was an old farmstead there that was in disrepair, and it's been torn down so that I can build my new construction. And they've just recently started clearing ground for it, basically breaking the ground for the construction. But yeah, I wanted to meet with Merrick because, either this turns into my exceptionally secure haven, or it turns into a property that I flip.
Right.
Depending on how things go with the lupine. because I'm sure I didn't see any around when I first viewed the property, but doesn't mean they're not there.
Right. Well, Counselor Dunn is definitely the one to
Yeah.
let you know the do's and don'ts out here, I would guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
And this is exciting because all I've seen here since we arrived is the city.
yeah.
So
I have always been in cities. Always. And I think it'll be nice to have just a place outside of it all where I can feel at home.
I think even in my youth, before we left Scotland, I feel that my father instilled in me a proper respect for the myths and legends of the lands we lived in.
Mm-hmm.
And lupines figured prominently in his tales, even though I didn't know at the time that they were real.
Yeah. Yeah. Most of the ones that I have seen from a distance, mind you, were city ones. They, I think, have various sects like we do kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
They have some that stay in cities and probably a vast majority that don't. But yeah, it's, you know, I just don't want to have a bunch of fucking problems.
Right. All I've heard is to steer clear of them. So I don't.
I just don't want to have a whole bunch of problems. How are you? How are you doing, Callum?
Well, it was jarring to take the life of one of my staff, and I'm storing all of that away and tamping it down to let out later when it's appropriate.
I will be meeting with Bella soon to get information from her, because we have to retaliate, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because Tanat is showing weakness.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So hopefully she's got some good info, or they got some good info from fucking Vance that can help us with potential targets. I figure we could take out a safe house or something else like that. A building for a building.
My thoughts on it are to in many native cultures in America, there is something called counting coup, I think is the right term, where the braves would sneak into an enemy encampment and leave tokens that they were there, letting the enemy know that they are not safe and that their lives could have been taken if those braves wanted to. And I just feel the need to make Becky feel uneasy all the time, so that when we do something, it will have an effect on her outside of whatever it is that we do.
That's why I think we should hit a safe house. That's where they roost when they can't get to their places that they normally stay.
Mm-hmm.
And hitting it at night, they're not likely to be in it. But the fact we know where it is.
Right.
Who's to say we don't know where others are?
Right. And I think starting with the least of their safe houses.
Exactly.
First.
Where their grunts stay.
Mm-hmm.
Because they can't replace their losses. So it is a threat.
Maybe hit a couple of them at night and then hit one in the day. Like, if we can somehow monitor them when we know that there are a number of them there, and just firebomb it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we happen to know of a thin blood that is a firebug. Perhaps he
Well.
can walk in the day too. Who the hell knows? But I think we save that for later.
Yes.
Let's escalate to that.
Absolutely. I want to keep her off balance.
Yeah. Fully expect that'll draw her back to fucking Elysia because she's gonna have some things to say. I also know that we are going to have to really focus on securing our domain. Because once we start retaliating, we're going to be in it.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's how that works. And it wasn't the most brilliant move to invite Becky for dinner at your place, but it needed to happen anyway because at least it gives us a chance to show what we're capable of.
And it was going to happen.
It was at some point. It just moved up the time frame.
Yeah, but now we know a little more about how she operates.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. For one thing, she's using my brother, who is a war veteran. And he is a showboater, and he likes to do shock and awe type shit. And I know him better than I know just about anybody.
Exactly.
But it was creative to use the owls. I'm certain that wasn't his idea. But that is good to know. And definitely, I fully expect to get a call at some point from one of my contacts back in Chicago about me eating one of the Noss's rats. Because, he has a finger on the pulse of the Noss down here. And I'm really... Him being able to maneuver and hide within the ranks of their fucking familiae. Not to say it didn't cost him for that level of access, but the fact that that level of access was even on the fucking table.
Maybe we could turn that against him.
Maybe. But it makes me, it waves all the fucking red flags with the Noss. Because they're supposedly Switzerland, but no, they're not.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If you were to ever attain the ability to also look like a rat, because you're of the same blood as Rurik? Is that how you pronounce your brother's name?
Yes, it's Rurik.
Would at some point, could you potentially pass as him in one of the forms? Like, do you carry a similar aura? Or if someone was to...
I don't have to turn into a rat to look like him.
I'm just wondering if that's something we could use in the future.
I could mold my flesh to look just like him.
Because I think if we could make them think that he has betrayed them, turned against them, did something against them.
I don't think that they would ever believe that. The brother I saw last night was one that had been literally brought to heel.
Oh.
He is such a fucking bootlicker now. Because he wanted nothing more than to fucking kill me. But he stayed his hand because he was ordered to. The brother that embraced me wouldn't have been capable of staying his hand. I imagine our grandmother severely punished him for his mistake. Severely. Broke something in him. So, yeah, I don't think they'd ever believe that he would turn.
I'm just trying to think out of the box in ways that we can.
I appreciate the creative thinking. I do. However, one, I will not ever turn into a fucking rat.
Very well.
If I turn into anything, it's going to be a motherfucking dragon.
Fair.
And two, I won't wear his face.
Understood.
So we have to think of other ways. And
But
for
could
now,
you do those things to someone else?
I could do those things to someone else, but I would never do it without consent.
Oh, of course not. I just want to make sure
Many
that
of my
we
clan,
don't.
because they are not like me, will do it without consent, no care or concern.
Sure.
But it is
I just want to make sure
excruciatingly painful
right.
to the point that it creates damage. And I would never do it to someone without consent. I don't believe, though, that mimicking someone as him would actually work.
Okay.
There are mannerisms, freaking quirks, tics, as you call, things that he does that you would have to be around him to know.
Sure.
And while I do know my brother more than just about anybody does, we have been away from each other for 20 years. A lot's happened over that time.
My thought was more that if we were to do things, and then if someone were to look like him, and there were to be a recording of that was leaked.
They don't care about the masquerade.
Okay.
They don't care about any of that shit.
Oh, no, I'm not saying for the masquerade, but have it look like Rurik is doing something.
Yeah, but then he says
for
it wasn't
himself.
me. They could be able to tell if he's telling the truth or not. I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad idea. In some situations, it might work, but not with a Templar. Not with a Templar. Technically, they outrank bishops.
Just ideas. I'm just trying to come at this from a psychological point of view.
I understand, but don't try to fuck with my brother's head, because I'm gonna tell you, his head is already fucked. He's a goddamn sociopath.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't. Yeah. I was more trying to work on other people.
Well, we don't know enough
casting
about
doubt
them.
on your brother.
We don't know enough about them to know how to fuck with them yet. We've got to get information.
Mm-hmm. True.
I mean, I can tell you right now, Becky, vain as fuck, because I can tell she's done work to herself. There ain't no way she looks like that naturally. But I can't tell you anything else about her. I mean, other than, yeah, she's a little bit prideful. But with one exposure to her, I can't give you a psychological evaluation of her to know what would make her tick and what would tip her over, you know? It's not bad thinking, but we definitely need more information. Because if we start jumping on these things too quickly, it'll blow up in our face. The best thing to do is focus on physical retaliation. That shows we aren't weak. And then we learn things as we do it. As we go tit for tat with them, because that's what's going to happen, we learn. And then when we are ready to truly strike, we will have the information to be able to do so successfully.
All right.
Trust the woman that survived a fucking sect war as a ghoul. Okay?
All right.
Thank you. I know it's raw for you right now. I know it is. And I get the drive for more than just retaliation, for fucking revenge. I get it. I do.
Eventually, I'm just going to need to do something.
I know. And I will 1000% support you. Just not right now. It's too close. You're too raw. As much as you're trying to put on the cool facade, you're too emotional about it. We have to be tactical. All right?
True. Yeah.
All right.
All that's true. I knew those people for a long time.
I understand. I do. More than you could ever realize. I understand.
As you're pulling up to your property at this point,
Mhm.
there's already a car parked
Mhm.
at the property. It says it's the Kansas Department of Wildlife, Parks, and Tourism.
Fantastic. That's on brand.
It's even marked on the side. It's got,
And she even looks over at Callum, a fucking gangrel working for the park authority. She gets out.
And as you get out, a man gets out of the vehicle. You'd put him early 40s.
Mhm.
He's wearing a polo shirt, slacks. He's got boots on. It's clear he gets out and gets dirty once in a while, but he looks more like an office worker than anything else. His hair is brown, but it's clear he tries to keep it contained and keep it controlled and combed.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got that look of that hair that just won't fucking be tamed no matter what.
It's like it's not curly. It's just wavy enough that it doesn't stay.
And it looks like he's obviously put a lot of effort to try to make it look presentable. But there's a wisp here, a wisp there, or a piece sticking out there that just gives it a little bit of an unkept look that you're not sure if he could ever fix that. But his bearing as he's walking towards you, he doesn't walk like an office worker.
Mm-hmm.
He walks like
a predator.
Yes, he's very comfortable in his body, and his movements are controlled.
Mm-hmm. Would she already know how to address him?
No.
Okay.
And as you approach, I'm Merrick Dunn.
Merrick, it's a pleasure. I am Katerina Riccozzi, and this is my associate, Callum McFarlane.
Well, I'm pleased to meet your acquaintance. And he reaches his hand out to shake hands.
She shakes it.
I'll shake his hand.
Nice bit of property you have out here.
Thank you. Thank you.
I heard you had a little bit of trouble a couple days ago. Everything okay?
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
Good to know. Bella, let everybody know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fine. We learned quite a bit.
Yeah. I'm sure you did.
Mm-hmm.
Owls of all things. That's why she was talking to me about it.
Mm-hmm. And the Nas letting a Templar hide within their rat's ranks.
Yeah, well, those little fuckers. I proposed at one point to just pump gas into the sewers, but I was told that really wouldn't kill our kind, even if I did suggest, well, we light it on fire afterwards. And then I got a talking to about burning the city down.
I mean, sometimes.
Yeah, I know. They're going to be a problem.
Yes, they are.
Don't know when, don't know how, but neutral my ass.
Yeah, exactly. But speaking of problems, the reason I wanted to meet with you out here, and thank you so much for making time to do so, As you see, they're starting to break ground. I'm planning to build a very secure residence and kind of compound here. I want to make sure that there are no problems with local wildlife.
And what kind of wildlife are we talking? I mean, you're on the plains. Coyotes are a problem.
Not talking about coyotes. I'm talking about the ones that can actually hurt us.
You're talking werewolves.
Yeah.
The lupine.
Yeah.
The fucking shape changers.
Just making sure there's no issues with that. And if there is potential issues, I would love to facilitate somehow a meeting with a representative of theirs to try to smooth that over.
How much do the two of you know of those types?
I've only seen city ones and at a distance, and it's been many years ago.
Okay, well, let's talk about the city ones real quick. We've got a decent proportion of them seem to be broken into two groups. There's a group that like to play with technology. I don't know what they call themselves. They pretty much avoid us in general. And then there's a group, they call themselves bone gnawers of all things. You'll find them. Be careful of any stray dog packs you run into. A lot of times it's either them or friends of theirs. They're casts off of their own society. So we have a tentative agreement in the city of we won't fuck with them. They don't fuck with us. I say tentative. It's not anything specific. It's just we've only had problems with them when somebody fucked up.
Yeah.
So nothing formal, but they don't cause problems the rest of the time. Now, where your big problem is, you ever heard of a ley line?
I have. My father told me stories when I was a kid back in Scotland.
Well, Kansas City is the intersection of two big ley lines. The city itself is a nexus between the two. There's also one spot up by Wichita, but
is that an issue here?
Well, the question is, where does the ley line actually intersect? I can't see them. I don't know what to even look for.
That
Does
was
it
my
intersect here?
question.
Does it intersect there?
Because Wichita is south.
That's a separate one.
Oh, a separate one altogether.
Yes.
Not joined with Kansas City.
That's one of the two that intersect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
So
two of them intersect here somewhere in Kansas City.
Yeah. We've got
the other one comes from some other direction.
one, as far as I was told. Now, I only know this secondhand. Malkavian told me about it a while ago. One comes from Sioux City, straight down, comes through Kansas City, down to Oklahoma City. Okay.
Okay.
Then we've got another one that comes through Kansas City and towards Dodge City. So north-south and kind of a northeastern kind of a path, and they intersect right there.
And she looks at her property that is northeast of the fucking city.
So there's where we get into, the question is, I don't know why they find them important, but they seem to have some importance of it. Now out here, we don't have any agreements, haven't talked to them. I don't know much about them. I know one or two of the bone gnawers. I might be able to get word passed on.
Okay.
To get someone to meet with you. I don't know.
Yeah, because my main thing is I don't want to deal with any of their shit. I don't want to step on any toes. I just want a place that I can roost.
I mean, at least it's not that place kind of to the southeast of San Diego. I heard there's like 7 or 8, 9, 10 intersections. It's a pretty big deal.
Jeez.
This one's only got 2 major ones. Somebody once told me there was another one, but.
Oh, I'm certain there probably was in New York. I just didn't know anything about them. My people tend to call them places of power.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I'll reach out to my contacts and see if I can get a meeting. Now, so you're aware, they generally don't like our kind.
Oh, I'm aware.
The bone gnawers, the few I have as a contact, they tolerate
I'm
me.
hoping that they will be open to hearing someone saying, look, I'm not trying to offend y'all. I just want to build a house and, not trying to fuck with your shit.
He kind of gets a grin. Well, the worst that could happen is they could just rip your head off and eat you.
I mean, that would put me out of my misery.
Yeah. Either way, you get an answer, don't you?
Exactly. The worst they can do is kill me. And well, that's already happened once.
Yeah. But I'll reach out and see what I can find out.
Okay.
Like I said, you're the farthest out of any of our people. So we generally, our kind prefer to be in the city anyway.
Yeah.
Not a lot of us set up out this far. I mean, I come out here for work all the time, but.
Yeah. I've been a city gal my whole damn life, and I've always dreamed of the country.
I get it. Just not much food out here unless you're one of those that.
Well, I work at the hospital, so I'm in the city a lot.
So you're not one of those that eat animals or something?
No.
Oh, couldn't imagine.
If I eat an animal, it's to piss off a nos.
Yeah. Okay. That's valid. That's all right. I make sure that the animal control goes out all the time and picks up all the rats they can. So
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Just because they're neutral don't mean I can't keep the rats off the streets, right?
That's right.
Do what I can.
That's
so yeah, I'll reach out and find out what I can find for you.
Okay. I appreciate it, Merrick. I really do. Yeah, I'm just trying not to have problems.
I get it. I understand out here, you want some peaceful time and
yeah.
Having a snarling,
having fucking lupines banging down my door because they think I'm going to fuck with their shit.
Yeah, 9 foot tall, snarling, hairy monster beating on your door at 2 a.m, or even worse, 2 p.m.
2 p.m. Yeah.
Really probably wouldn't be as enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I can arrange that. Expect to hear something the next day or two.
Okay.
I've found that they either respond or they don't pretty quick. Okay. One way or another.
All right. Appreciate it.
Yep.
And then she's going to go to the back of her vehicle and get out some flashlights. And she's going to say, you want to walk the property with me real quick, Callum?
Sure.
And she'll take him on a tour.
Before we leave him, when I say, take our leave of him, is there some way I can use etiquette with my specialization in kindred hospitality to give some sort of more proper?
Of course. Go ahead and give me that sounds like a wits etiquette roll. And use your bonus in kindred hospitality.
Okay. And I think I did this wrong last time. I clicked the etiquette first and then grabbed
drag the die from wits and drop it on chat.
Make sure you've hit the +1 by the modifier for your specialty.
At the bottom left of your screen.
Oh, right. Okay, that's what I did wrong last time.
Then it'll give you an extra die. Oh, 5. Messy crit, though. I'm trying to think.
Should I willpower that to...
that is up to you, whether you want to.
Willpower 1 to try to clear a messy crit.
Yeah, willpower that one of the crits out. That's up to you.
Okay. And that's...
If you willpower, you select the one that has the crit on it.
Yep. Hit willpower on your sheet. Or
the
hit
one
your
farthest to the
SP.
right
Yeah.
with the extra, yeah.
Whichever one had the crit symbol.
Oh, wait. So they have...
Hit SP on your sheet and you'll get the 3.
Yep, I got that.
Yep, pick the one with the crit symbol, which is the one that has
and you can pick the blank one too.
Yep, the blank one and the crit symbol.
Okay.
Smart idea, because I was going to hit you with your clan compulsion. So that makes it only 2 successes,
only 2
but
successes.
It's not a messy crit. So you don't have your clan compulsion, which would force you to try to make him acknowledge your
your authority.
Your authority on things. Good use of that. Yeah, that would. Gwen has the right face for that. Yeah. So you come up with, I'm trying to think of the best way to do it. You come up with a way to acknowledge his position. I'll just do it that way so we don't have to try to make up something on the spot.
Acknowledge
to leave
his
a
position.
favorable opinion.
Yeah, acknowledge his position. Let him know I'm at his service.
Okay. And the two of you set off to walk the property.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now, as you're walking the property and going through it, he gets in his car and drives off.
Yeah, because Kat wants to inspect what they've accomplished so
Right.
far after groundbreaking. So
mainly, it's marking the perimeters of the property line and
breaking ground for the main house.
Yep.
And yep.
So we're flashing over to Rashad, Bo, and Gwen, as Rashad has showed up because they have somewhere to be tonight.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
No, actually, I'm actually pretty glad you're here, Rashad. The other day you mentioned something about keeping guard or watching over things. Maybe you could elaborate things that ghosts can cling to here. I'll say in the mortal world. Again, I'm not sure how to exactly phrase that or rephrase that, which had me thinking it might be time I pay a visit to my childhood home.
I understand. I will add that the information I provided you all, although not complete, is still a bit, what is the word, confidential. Be careful talking about it. You never know when someone may be listening.
Right, and that's part of the reason I was hoping you'd join me.
Of course.
Gwen, that's not to leave you out by any means. If you're more than welcome to join if you'd like. I figure it's not something I'm trying to keep secret.
Are you expecting trouble?
While I don't expect to see my brother, I haven't expected him to see him the times I saw him either. So,
Where's your family home at? In relationship to everything going on?
on the northwest of here,
Oh,
out
okay.
on the outskirts, not in Kansas City, outside Kansas City.
Okay, I wanted to make sure we weren't going like deep into Sabbat territory or
No.
anything.
And I'll be honest, I don't want to go by myself.
I mean, if you want me there, I'll go, of course. Maybe I'll get some information on your brother. That'd be good. I'll go.
Yeah. All right. And we will head there.
Okay, so you all pile up in the car and start driving over. Do y'all need a conversation on the way, or are you good? It's up to you.
I think
I'm
Bo
all
and Gwen are good, but I don't know if Rashad has
Yeah.
anything since he just joined.
right. Well, Rashad's all right. We can wrap.
I know Rashad had told me several times he wanted to do something on the way there.
Well, I mean, I was going to wait till later, but we can do a little premonition.
Yeah, we can get
on
that
family
out
if you'd
now.
like.
I know you
Sure.
told me multiple
All right.
times you're going to do it, so let's do it.
Well, I am definitely going to rouse the blood on this. Let me go ahead and do that. Wonderful.
Yeah, you did
All
not
right,
get hungry.
so day may be a good day.
And it's a good thing you weren't using Oblivion because you rolled a 10. Because that would have been a stain.
So I'm going to spend a willpower point.
For those that don't know, under V5, if you roll a 10 for your rouse check, you get a stain. If you're using Oblivion. So you've got 4 successes. What exactly are you trying to find information
He
on?
wants to get an idea on the temperament of this family member generally. He wants to know, are they upset about something? Are they searching for him? That kind of thing.
So as you're reaching out and invoking your other sight, your ability to see possibilities in the future. 4 successes, huh? You see what starts off as 2 different packs of dogs, then 3, then 4. Numerous packs of dogs fighting amongst themselves for dominance. And as they're fighting, off to the side is 1 dog, another spot's 2 dogs, another spot a lone dog watching the fighting, refusing to be part of it all. Now you can't tell from your vision who is who in this situation. But you know it does relate to what you were wondering about.
That is good. On the off chance that we encounter other people tonight, I would ask that you all let me handle things peacefully at first, if possible.
Yeah, of course.
Are you expecting anyone in particular?
I can't be sure, but I think I've gained a minor insight into a family matter. I do not think they are a threat to us, at least not at the moment.
Why would your family be here?
A different family. I don't know how common our structure is within the Camarilla, but we are often referred to as a very large family.
Oh,
That
no,
is
I
the
know.
reason.
But I meant, why would they be at Bo's house?
Not Bo's house, no. I think
Okay.
they are watching us all.
Got it. You mean larger scale, not what's going to happen in 15 minutes or
Speaking
so.
of that, what's awareness from all 3 of you, please?
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Concealed objects?
My
Sure, I'll let you use concealed objects.
ambushes.
Sure, why not?
I'll also search.
Because you like me?
No, you don't get a bonus because I like you. I do like you, but I'm not giving you a bonus for that. If I had to give a bonus for that, I'd be constantly giving bonuses to everybody but you're any.
I want a willpower just because I can. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm doing the same.
So far, Red has 7.
8.
8. Without a crit, no less. That's pretty
I know.
impressive.
That's what I was hoping for, was a crit.
Yeah. 5 for Rashad. 4 for Bo. And you didn't even get hungrier. Wow. When he says that, just for an instant, in the reflection of the glass of the vehicle you're riding in, you see a dark shadow that's not there. Just for an instant. Then it's gone.
Does Gwen know what that
No,
could?
but it looked
Nope.
like the shadow was a man for sure. And he might have been in a library.
Rashad, I think you mentioned before that you'd had like a visitor in a mirror or something. A window.
Yes, someone had been watching me. I thought it was a mutual enemy, but now it might not be.
I just saw them.
Mm.
Well, I saw someone. I guess it might not have been them.
So I said, people be as polite as possible. I don't think they will do you any harm, but I cannot speak for what they consider harm and what we would consider harm.
Is there anything that we should be aware of in particular that we should be mindful of?
I do not know if either of you have experience hiding your auras, but assume whoever we meet will be better at all of the things that I can do, and will probably know a few things that I do not.
Quinn's face like goes a little white, but then gets like steely. It's like, okay.
Do not assume the Camarilla's traditions will apply during a meeting with them. They are respectful of the tower, but they are not subordinate to it.
Whatever you say, Rashad. I'm not going to try and say I have a knowledge base that what you say goes.
Of course, but for now, you should assume that things will go off fine, and we will take care of your family.
The rest of the drive there, that music that Bo heard before is just kind of running through his head.
It's funny because as you arrive at your childhood home, property nominally still yours. It was left to you in the will, though you have not been out here. First thing you notice is the house, in a rather dilapidated state. Parts of the roof have caved in. Grounds are overrun with weeds, grass. The house itself from here, the windows are broken, the doors completely off its hinges. Nobody bothered to board up the windows. There's no graffiti on it, which strikes you as odd because an abandoned house normally gets something to it, but not that either. But from the distance, it looks like the house has been abandoned longer than it should have, for sure.
Are you sure this is the right place?
I'm sure. It was silly of me to think my brother was going to do anything to keep it up. But it's the first time I've been back in 2 decades more.
Is there anything nearby? Like, is it in like a neighborhood? Like, is it just middle of nowhere?
I mean, it's not middle of nowhere, but it's like kind of verging on like farm country.
Got it. So like it's on like a 2 or 3 acre plot type of thing. Yeah. Like there's neighbors, but they're not close.
Like they used to have animals. They had a small barn. I mean, but they didn't tend to a lot of land.
Yeah, the barn is completely collapsed on itself.
Yeah,
it's just rubble.
I was just sitting in the car, just kind of staring at it.
And as Bo sits and stares, right here, everybody, we're going to go to break. We will be back in 10 minutes. Please enjoy the wonderful break music and imagine all the horrible things that may be in this house, because you'll find out after break. See you after break. Welcome back, everybody. Before the break, well, we got a nice scene with Bo and Gwen talking about Bo hearing the music. And then Rashad showed up for a trip out to Bo's family property that he hasn't seen in 2 decades. And we also got to see Katarina and Callum meet with, well, one of the counselors, Counselor of the Wild, which is good. Merrick Dunn, who turns out to work for the Kansas Department of Wildlife. That makes sense, doesn't it? With his hair that is a little bit unruly at all times. I wonder if that's because of the gangrel part of him. I can't wait to see him frenzy to see what happens. Goes full Wolfman on people.
Love it.
And then as we were going to break, they were sitting outside Bo's family house. It has fallen in. His brother hasn't taken care of it, though it is strangely devoid of what you would expect from a house that had been abandoned that long. No squatters has shown up, no graffiti, no vandalism other than what the weather itself has caused. And we left as Bo was staring at the house out front of it, still in the vehicle.
Do you wish to go inside?
Do I wish to? No, but I will anyway. And
Do we
I will-
get anything from like the wits awareness for this area in particular, or do we need to roll
Nope.
again? Okay.
Actually, based on your rolls, the property is eerily calm.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
Y'all don't hear no crickets.
yeah, you don't hear even the insects.
Oz effect. Ugh.
Mhm.
No wildlife scurrying. You would expect at least field mouse or two in the overgrown weeds. None of that.
Well, let's not delay.
Gwen is going to get out of the car and then do unseen passage and silence to death.
Go ahead and get the rouse for the unseen passage here. Okay. You're doing good tonight, aren't you? Getting
Just
lucky with those
jinxed
rouse
it.
checks. Yep, I did on purpose.
That's why you did it.
Yep.
God will activate toughness.
I will enhance or heighten my senses.
Rashad, as you activate your toughness, your beast speaks in your head. There is another of us in the city. And he spies, but does not present themselves. Are you sure he's a member of the family?
Let's go. And Rashad gets out of the car.
Bo will walk, not necessarily leading, but not paying mind to how far back the other two are from him.
As you approach the house, it is dead calm, scarily calm. No rustling. All you hear is when the wind blows, the creaking of the house itself. Stepping onto the porch, the boards, they creak alarmingly. They don't give way, but you can tell that the weather has warped them to the point where the nails have come loose.
I would like to use Sense the Unseen as we are walking.
Okay, resolve all specs.
I'll say, watch your step. Don't want you falling through.
Two. You gonna willpower that one?
Yeah, I'm gonna do. Need to get some better rolls.
Red has stolen all the good rolls tonight. 4. I'll keep that in mind as you are stepping into the house. Is everyone going in or is just Bo going in? Now, the whole
We're all
upper story
follow.
is collapsed on itself, pretty much. You might be able to maneuver a few places, but not many. The main floor of it, though, appears from where you're standing by the doorway, it appears to be mostly intact. A lot of water damage. No mold growing on it, but water damage.
Rashad does enter.
I'd have a torch flashlight.
Okay. And as you turn the flashlight around, the first thing that strikes you is the brown splotches splattered on the walls, ceiling, the floor. The hardwood floors that are obviously damaged, warped. A few places that you worry about stepping on. And it as you stare at these brown splotches, at first you think they might be brown mold, but it's not. As a kindred, you can all smell in the air old blood, very old. You shouldn't be able to smell it. Should be gone as many years ago as this was done. But you smell it clearly. Old rancid blood. And it has been splattered everywhere in this place.
Can Gwen get any sort of like, can Gwen deduce like what's happened here at all? Either like a long time ago based on the blood or like.
Of course you can. Let's go intelligence investigation with your deduction specialty.
Thank you. You read my mind. I will search again.
Might as well. You're not really failing hunger rolls, are you? Until I said that. Let's see. You got 3 so far. Yep, I put the jinx in. Good.
Why?
At Pierce Fantasy Grounds, every session picks one person to roll extremely well.
It's been Gwen a lot.
I know. You have 4 so far. And you're going to do your rouse check.
Well, thank you, Shanky.
And
I hope you are happy.
And you hear her voice in your head. Something very bad happened here, child. Something you may remember from long ago that you may have done once. Most of our kind do. And then the voice goes silent. It appears by the blood splatters. Your best guess. Somebody was ripped apart in this room.
We want this place back, Mr. Solomon.
Bo just shakes his head.
Are there any valuables or mementos that you want to reclaim?
That's what I want to look for.
I hate to be that person. Why don't we just burn it down?
Rashad, and on your sense of the unseen, a wave of emotion hits you. Hunger. Of a desire to eat. Now, it's possible it's because your hunger is higher than normal, but you're not so sure. And there's flickering movement at the edge of your vision that you can't see, you can't concentrate on. It's almost a memory laced into this place.
We should leave soon. We are not alone.
Can I use kindred iconography to see if this was kindred done, if there were any signs left on the walls or around?
Kindred iconography. Left? I'll let you roll to see. Perhaps somebody left a marking, perhaps not.
From what Gwen saw, like Gwen deduced, it was very, very likely a kindred that did this, right?
Based on what the voice said, when you were first embraced, you are ravenous. Many times a sire will throw a sacrificial person for you to feed from, and it's not pretty. Most of the time that person is torn to shreds by the beast as you try to consume as much blood as possible. Which is ironic because you waste more blood than you drink by doing it that way. But the beast has no control at that point.
What in Streetwise again?
Wits.
Jeez. I'm going to use willpower.
Three. You don't see any, but please hit the willpower button on your character sheet for me.
Nope.
You can just click Frenzy at the bottom of your character sheet. That handles a willpower roll automatically. 1. All at once it crashes into you, Bo. Loss, pain, love, anger, hatred. It crashes through you in a solid wave. And you feel your body shaking. And everyone, you see him shaking. As Bo, with only 1 success, begins to trash the inside of the place.
God will scry his soul.
Ooh, I like that. That is very good. You are going to roll. Now, this is an opposed roll. Bo, you must roll Composure Subterfuge. The beast will automatically defend itself against you.
I will surge for this.
Okay.
Oh, wonderful. This is wonderful.
And you are up to 4 hunger already, Rashad. Man, you should all watch how often you rouse, because you have the worst luck at the table of rousing.
I don't know.
At least tonight.
Carry a snack with you when you go out.
7. 7 successes. Impressive.
I'm actually good at.
Okay, one more. 8 successes.
8 successes. Rather than ask all the questions you already know the answer to on this, his aura is being subsumed by something external. These emotions that he's feeling are not his.
Leave him now. And for the first time, you will see he actually flares his fangs. And there's almost a moment where he isn't completely in control.
And the house itself begins to shake. All the things that Bo had broken starts to move and whip around the room. It's not enough to hurt you yet.
Gwen is going to. Okay. The logistics question: you can stake someone and they won't die, but they will go into brief torpor, right? And it'll be okay. Yes. Okay. So Gwen's gonna pick up probably a broken piece of wood that Bo has caused, and then we'll do Silence of Death and Unseen Path. Well, she's gonna try and do without it. She's gonna try and stake Bo.
You're already unseen passage.
Oh, I just talked. That was it. Well, I guess no, it's fine. Okay, yeah. Then she's just gonna do that.
Okay, go ahead. Give me a roll. I don't think Bo's waiting for this, so he has 1 defense die. He's too busy caught up in the emotions that have grabbed him.
I'm gonna surge again.
And then it turns out Bo had steak bait.
Garlic was a lie.
Yeah. No, that was Nicholas. We did that already to Timber Brad. Well, 3 is not enough. So you're aware you need 5 successes over the margin to stake somebody through the heart. And you would need successes on all of them. And actually, you'd need a crit plus some extra successes.
I know.
Nope.
God damn it, Shanky.
So, Bo, as you're breaking things, suddenly it's a piece of a chair, it looks like, is plunged into your chest, though it misses your heart. But that does snap you out of what's happening. The house has not stopped shaking, and the shit is accelerating faster and faster.
It's time for us to go now.
Yeah, Gwen's probably gonna stand outside the door. She's gonna like, yeah, I don't want to. I will sit and watch. I'm
Bo's
not
kind
gonna
of
be in here.
Bo's kind of there frozen, and kind of another second of kind of really snapping to. He's like, "Mom, Dad."
You say, Mom, all of it stops. And dead silence once again returns to the house.
Oh, this type of carnage, I've only, well, I think it would only occur with a fresh turn. I think that maybe
Don't say it. I know what you're going to say. Don't say it.
was your brother here when this happened? Do you know? Even in the area?
It's possible. Again, it wasn't him who told me what happened, but it would make sense if he were. Bo's gonna walk to the master bedroom, which would have been on the first floor.
Mm-hmm.
Look for an end table, see if it's intact.
It is.
His mother kept a book of pressed flowers in there, and I want to see if it's in there.
It is. Surprisingly, not waterlogged like a lot of things.
Can I take this?
Only silence.
Hello? Can I take this?
There is no response.
Bo closes it and tucks it under his arm. Walks out. Let's go.
You all return to the vehicle. I assume heading back to the logistics.
Bo's going to open up the page to one of the flowers, and a drop of blood falls on the page from his eye. Closes it back up and doesn't say anything the rest of the way.
What strikes you as odd, given the age of this book, the flowers are a lot more preserved than they should be.
Rashad, do we need to destroy items or just make sure they don't get in the wrong hands?
Can I do a roll to see all what Rashad would know about this particular subject?
Of course,
Mr. Storyteller?
intelligence occult.
Wonderful.
4. It's a good roll. You would know that the spirits are bound to this world through objects that were dear to them. Destroying one object weakens their hold. To fully banish them, you would have to find all the objects that were tied to them. Though from your understanding, even destroying one item that bound them to this world causes them pain and suffering.
That is a choice, Mr. Solomon, to make. I do not know much about your family, so I cannot tell you how many of these items would exist. There may be the one, there may be many. I will warn you that if you destroy it, it will cause the spirit pain and agony. However, if you were to find all of them, it would guarantee that someone from my family or someone with knowledge of our abilities cannot summon or control them. It is possible that you can keep the item for yourself. I cannot and will not show you how to summon spirits, but
I don't want you
there
to.
may be an opportunity for you to receive closure. But it is up to you.
Destroying this, will that help them or hurt them? You said.
It will cause them pain, but they won't be able to be summoned again. I don't know much more than that, so I can't say one way or the other if it'll be better for them.
Well, this is coming with me for now.
As is your right.
If you learn more that it is dangerous to have this for us or for her, I expect you to let me know right away.
Keeping it will be dangerous for you. Wraiths, ghosts are a valuable tool. They represent weapons that cannot be seen or attacked by ordinary means.
I know you mean well, but do not call my mother a tool. I know what you mean. Now is not the time.
Well,
Others will come for her if they find out you have it.
Understood. That is information that is useful. Thank you.
Bo, I understand why you would want to keep her.
I want her to be at peace. If protecting this now and finding the others later will help with that, fine. But if destroying it now without the others will cause her pain, then I am keeping it now.
Just be prepared for pain you didn't expect.
Too late.
I understand probably more than you would ever really know. So I guess if you're struggling with it, let me know. But even keeping them around, it's not really not good for you. Take it from someone who knows.
Bo shakes his head, but that's it.
And as you are heading to the logistics, we flash to Kat and Callum after leaving Kat's property. You all come to the logistics knowing you will meet up with the rest of the group tonight.
Mm-hmm.
As you pull up in your vehicle, there's an Asian man standing out front. Very short, very polite Asian man. Standing in front of the building, just rock solid. Sit still, not moving, just standing there. His arms clasped before him. Not crossed. His arms are clasped, his hand in hand, standing in front of him.
We have someone inside now that can help you be comfortable while you wait.
But you were not here. It would be impolite for me to interact with your servants without you.
Okay.
You would have no ability to know if I had done something to them. proper etiquette says I wait here.
All right, then, let's go in.
Thank you for your politeness and understanding.
Rules. It's what separates us from the animals, correct?
Yeah, it seems like some people that might have employed you don't really separate themselves from animals much. And she walks in.
And he comes inside with you. I am aware the rest of you are not here.
They'll be here soon.
Perfect. And he took his shoes off as he stepped in, and he stands at ease, but still with his hands clasped in front of him. They're plainly visible, so you can see where his hands are. And he stands there, rocks still, doesn't move, just stands and waits.
Janine, take a break.
Okay, sure. I saw him out front. I invited him in. And he said he would wait.
Yeah, it's his thing. Take a break.
And she goes, heads off. And you wait about 30 more minutes before you hear a car pull up out front when Rashad, Gwen, and Bo come inside. And you all see him just standing there.
Good evening.
We're all here now.
Good evening to you all. I have returned. It has been just over 30 days. Have you given thought to the proposal?
Callum just kind of chuckles and walks away.
Considering what all has happened, what do you think honor would dictate?
Honor would dictate you demand Rear Guild in return for adjoining if that were your path you would take.
Yeah, I wouldn't join for less than a fucking Templar staked and delivered to me.
You could make a demand.
Yeah, but I'm not going to because I'll get that anyway.
So is that your decision?
Yeah, that's mine.
For the rest of you?
I will not be joining. I'm sure you can understand the requirement of organizations.
I assume by your friend leaving, that is also his response.
Considering what happened to his people, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It is unfortunate there are casualties in war. I had no part of that, obviously.
Maybe you should pick better employers.
Were I to do that, I would be deciding the fate of many more people. By not picking, I retain my own balance and just enforce the rules as they apply. You have made your decision. The safety of your domain will last for 7 more days. I do not want to be accused of leading an attack on here the same night as you have rejected the offer. I cannot tell you when they will come, but after 7 days, my protection no longer applies here.
Excellent.
And he bows to each of you in turn. I wish you a prosperous life.
What if we were to hire you for something?
When this current job is completed, I would be more than willing to discuss terms and what you wish to hire me for. Unfortunately, I only,
Office in 7 days?
if it does not conflict with my current employers, I can entertain discussion in 7 days.
Storyteller, in my studies about Kindred and my preparation for joining Kindred Society, would I have learned anything about the laws that govern the Banu Hakim?
You know that the Banu
Their
Hakim,
guiding principles.
well, all of them are different. There's individuals. They have a reputation of being assassins. For a very long time in the Camarilla, you hired a Banu Hakim if you wanted to eliminate a rival without getting your own hands dirty. But they're also known to be judges, arbitrators, and appliers of law. Now, in all of those cases, they make the decision of what they feel is the law, which doesn't always match what the tower feels the law is. They have their own sense of justice and their own internal rules that they apply. And each one looks at it slightly different than the others.
Okay.
But most of them are very rigid in their views.
Okay. But would Callum be at least aware in principle of the 5 laws that guide them?
In principle. Though whether he follows all of them or not would be tough to say.
Gotcha.
Many of them form, especially the older they get locked into their own particular facet of what they do. Would you like me to return in 7 days to discuss a job?
Before I answer that, I want to use the discerning trait for background.
Okay.
Just to see if I know we used it before, but to see if we can get anything new.
Okay. That is, I'm trying to figure which one that one was.
It's the Ministry Clan Merit.
Yeah, which one? I'm trying to figure out. You got numbers of them?
It's in the note for Clan Merit.
I know. I'm trying to see which one it was, which level it was. No, it's not that one. I think it's level 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Level 1. Okay. It lowers the difficulty. So what are you going to ask them?
Oh, I'm not talking about my merit. I'm talking about the discerning ministry one, not my lore sheet.
Oh, you're talking the clan merit.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I got to find it again. Discerning. There it is. It was at the top. Okay. You may find out something superficial related to his desire or ambition, or could relate to an action they're undertaking. I will let you know that he is driven by a need to work, to have a purpose.
Perhaps not in 7 days. I might need more time. But would I be able to contact you should I make a decision?
He slowly moves his hands up and reaches into an inner pocket and pulls out a card, completely black with just a number. You leave a message here with date and time. Make sure you leave this message with at least 2 days ahead of when you wish to meet. I will be notified, and I will be there. And just offers the card to you.
Thank you. And she takes it.
If you don't mind my asking, what would be your price for delivering a message? Non-violent, of course.
Depends on the message. I am ordered to return your response to this.
I believe it would be unrelated to this. Just a quest for a conversation.
For this, I will charge you nothing. I will consider it evening the scales after the attack upon you the last visit. I may have destroyed the one who orchestrated it, but honor demands that did not square us.
In that case, please alert the necromancer. I don't know if they are loyal to your current employers or a separate group, that I would like to discuss family business with them.
I will let him know. And he bows once again to you, and then he bows again to Gwen. And turns and walks and puts his shoes back on and leaves your building.
Callum will step out when he turns.
Mhm.
I want to use my my clan merit, the Ventru clan merit.
Learn something relevant about him.
Yeah, and if it's possible, with relevancy to the laws.
You don't always get to know that. I will tell you, because not everything you'll know about, you don't know enough about him to know about the relevancy to the laws. But I will tell you, based on what you know and what you've seen of him, he would sooner walk into the sun than break his own rules.
Okay.
He is that rigid.
Bo wants to follow after him,
And
if possible. Oh, sorry, Cal.
that's okay.
You get the impression he doesn't follow the Banu Hakim, their beliefs exactly.
Okay. I'm trying to learn about him.
His rules are ingrained to the point where he's incapable of breaking them.
Okay. I will ask him, sir, if I may ask you a question before you leave.
You may always ask, but politeness demands I tell you I may not always answer.
Have we been found wanting by your employers?
I am unable to answer any questions relating to my employers, such as the contract.
Do you find us wanting?
Interesting question. Most people don't ask me.
Pardon my ignorance of the laws that guide you and your clan, and I know that yours may be different, but
You have treated me with respect. You have treated me with politeness. You have responded in kind. To me, that puts you as honorable kindred. You did not lie to me like the last group did, and attempt to play both sides. For that, you have earned a measure of respect.
has the eldest among you ordered our destruction?
My orders have nothing to do with the destruction. I do not take assassination contracts. That is not my purpose. There are others to do that. Though, as you are aware, when honor demands it, sometimes destruction must be delivered. It is not a task I relish, but when honor demands it, there can be no other response.
And I'm assuming by your example that you serve an honorable master.
They do not break their contract with me.
Well, that's interesting.
And he leaves.
After,
Go ahead.
oh,
What?
I was going to say, after the 7 days and the contract is no more and its terms have been executed, are you able to tell us who it was?
No.
Finished.
No. I never speak of my contracts and those who have retained my services.
Worth a shot.
He bows. And Bo, you follow him outside to see where he goes?
No, I just want to ask him a quick question
Okay.
in private.
Well, he steps outside. He notices you following him, but he doesn't seem to be worried.
Yeah, I'm not. It's not threatening. I wouldn't approach threateningly. If you don't mind, I have a question. Maybe innocuous, maybe too small for someone with the knowledge you possess, but if you do me the kindness of at least potentially answering this question.
I can answer if I can. I
Understood.
do not possess the knowledge you may think. I am a humble servant.
Certainly. Any chance you know a man who at least used to go by the name Ulysses Solomon?
I'm unable to speak of that. And he bows to you and turns. And when he walks across the street, he steps into a darker patch. And it's not like what you saw Bella do. But 1 minute he's there and he just kind of blends in with the darkness. And then he's just not there anymore. It's not like Bella, who literally stepped through the shadow and was gone. It's obvious he's using the shadow to break sight so that he can disappear.
After a moment, Bo goes back inside.
Get what you need.
In a way. They can I don't want to talk about what happened before. Rashad or Gwen, feel free to let them know what happened. I don't have a problem you telling. I just don't want to say it.
Be careful, Mr. Solomon.
I'm not going anywhere. I just need a moment.
I will spare Mr. Solomon the more intimate details, but we encountered our first wraith tonight. I do not believe it'll be a threat to the rest of us, but Mr. Solomon is going to be taking care of some more personal issues. And it may be a future concern that may spread to the rest of us if people know about it. So do not go telling people about this encounter.
Okay, is it a threat or is it not? Because that was vague as hell.
Go either way, honestly.
Okay, I'd kind of
Forgive
like
me,
to know.
Mr. Solomon. Mr. Solomon has obtained something that could be quite valuable to the right people. If those people were to find out, they may be willing to do whatever it takes to get that item from him.
So that item is
Including
tied to the
taking us
wraith
out.
you encountered.
Seems to be.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'll compartmentalize that. We'll deal with that later. My brother is on the side of the ones trying to recruit us.
Does that I mean, it's just the Sabbat trying to recruit us? I guess I'm a little
I
confused.
think the Sabbat has factions. Every sect has factions. Don't let the tower lie to you. There's factions in it too.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think that because we're noticing things, I believe there's at least 2 Sabbat factions in the city. One wanting to do things one way, one wanting to do things the other way. And the ones that wanted to recruit us were obligated due to this contract to not destroy us during the terms of the contract. My brother was ordered not to destroy us. He flat out told me that. So whatever faction Hideo's working for is the same one my brother's in.
Well, Becky was the only reason why your brother was there to begin with, so they're at least somewhat related in faction.
Perhaps.
Close enough to work together willingly.
Perhaps. Perhaps not.
I mean, perhaps he was ordered to not to kill you by a different person, by a more powerful person. You mentioned your grandmother, right? Could have been her
My
too.
grandmother would probably want me dead.
Perhaps.
Likely. But you could be right. It may be a perhaps because she didn't destroy my brother when he fucked up and embraced me. But,
Right.
you know, the fact that I never was a vampire in the Sabbat, she'd probably want me dead because I know too much.
Or she'd want you in the Sabbat.
Not likely. She knows I never would. If she knows anything about me, she knows I never would. It's not in me.
I will let you know that I received a vision earlier today. And this vision, multiple packs of dogs were fighting for dominance, while a separate group or several separate groups watch from the shadows. It is my interpretation that this vision is telling me that my family is choosing not to directly intervene in this war.
I think there's a number that aren't directly intervening. We have the Nos, your cousin, for lack of a better term, the sisters, the Anarchs really aren't starting amok,
Hideo's not.
Hideo. There's a number of individuals and groups that are not participating actively.
Is there a reason you think it's your family in particular, Rashad?
It is possible to aim these visions in a specific direction, at least with my current level of power, and I wanted to know what my cousin was doing. I wanted to know if they were upset, or if they were searching for me, or anything of the like. That is what I was shown.
So then at least one of them was your family.
I believe
Well,
so.
At least they're not involved yet. Last thing we need. More necromancers involved.
If Mr. Hideo is able to deliver my message, I will go to meet with my cousin. I will not ask any of you to join me, despite being a family, we are not always, let's say, kind to one another. But if you wish to join me, I would appreciate it.
Of course.
And I asked Hideo about making another contract. I initially didn't have anything in mind. I was more of a just in case, knowledge is power type of thing. But one of the things that's been mentioned is the lack of our side having a Tremere. I didn't know if it would be possible to engage in a contract of some sort to learn something like that. Wasn't my intention, and just an idea. It may be a terrible one, but. And I would want to run it by the HOA first, of course. I know it's something that they've mentioned to us directly about not having that.
I imagine the price for such a thing would be quite high. Are you prepared to deal with the consequences of knowing or having that knowledge?
Having the knowledge, period. I mean, I'd rather know than not know. But as far as the price to acquire it, period, to enter into that contract, I'm hoping getting the HOA involved might help. At least with some of the non-personal morality at costs of it. It does benefit them too.
I cannot speak for the Jameer, but most clans with special abilities are very private with them. So if you were to obtain this one, it is very possible you will draw the ire of many, many people. You should prepare yourself to deal with that, regardless of what the HOA will tell you.
One of the terms of the contract, secrecy.
Perhaps.
I don't know, just an idea that I wanted to let you all know of while we were here, while we were talking about Adejo.
I mean, the worst he can tell you is no. You know, that he won't do it. Because as long as you come respectful about it, he won't, destroy you. Fuck, I hate that guy.
I respect him.
Oh, I'm not saying I don't respect him. I can still hate him, though. He's just annoying as fuck. But anyway.
You'd rather people don't beat around the bush with things and just...
Yeah.
He's definitely an enigma.
It's good to see someone so devoted to the rule of law. If there were more, we'd have fewer conflicts.
You'd have more competition as a lawyer, Rashad.
You wouldn't need lawyers if that were the case.
Yes.
Everyone followed the law like him. You wouldn't need those like Rashad.
To hope for a day.
I'm glad you still have a sense of humor, Bo. You look like hell.
It's been a hell of a day.
I can tell. And Callum and I toured my property that I bought and met with Merrick, Counselor of the Wild. He's a fun guy. He works with like the parks and animal control and stuff like that. And he told me, when he asked, because I bought a place so far out, he's like, "Are you the type that eats animals?" And I'm like, "No, I only eat animals when I'm wanting to piss off a nos." And he laughed, and then he said that he basically has animal control capturing rats in the city.
Ironically, that's probably both true and a metaphor.
I know, right?
Certainly effective.
Yeah, but anyway, I wanted to meet with him tonight because I have concerns based on the fact I am out kind of towards the plains, that I might be potentially getting close to lupine territory. And if I am, I want to negotiate something that will ensure that they aren't barging into my shit. Because I don't give a shit about their stuff. I'm not wanting to mess with their stuff. I just want somewhere I can get some motherfucking peace. So I should be hearing from him in a night or two. Rashad, when I do have that meeting, I would like for you to accompany me, because if I have to negotiate or work out contracts or anything like that with these folks, I want you there. You're far better at it.
Yes.
I can't shovel bullshit enough.
Well, I assure you I will take care of it to the best of my ability.
I'm only joking. No, I know you're really good at what you do, so I would appreciate if you could join me. Yeah, so.
Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, I think, are you all sitting about your business for the night?
I think so.
As Callum and Bo are heading back to their...
Oh, one thing before I forget. Merrick did mention to us not to fuck around with stray dogs in the city, because they are tied to lupine.
All of them?
It's hard to say which ones are and which ones aren't, right? Isn't it?
I mean, that's fair. I'm just trying to get a scope of scale here.
Yeah, just try not to fuck with stray dogs, because who knows? It could be, because I've heard that some of the werewolves can actually look like stray dogs, the city ones.
Makes sense.
So literally, just don't fuck with stray dogs.
Like
So
the night.
don't-
Go ahead, Gwen.
So I was going to make a joke. So don't bite a stray dog and
Yeah,
and take care
basically.
of it while I undress.
Yeah. Yeah. That.
As everyone departs, I know Callum and Bo Callum wanted to have a talk on the way to the Haven.
Bo, you want to catch me up on what happened?
I guess in simple terms, I met my mother's ghost.
And I'm guessing you brought something out of the house?
I will kind of just acknowledge the book on my lap.
Well, from what Rashad was saying, a lot of what's going on there is one, outside of our experience, and two, outside of our capability. However this goes, I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to back you up 100% if you feel like you need to hang on to this for whatever reason. I'm 100% behind you.
I told Gwen and Rashad that I'm not holding on to this for sentimental reasons. I'm holding on to it because Rashad said if it was destroyed, it would cause her pain. But if we're able to find all the items that she is bound or tied to, it could help her.
How do we do that?
I have no idea. I literally met her ghost a few hours ago, Callum.
Well, of course, I will help you in whatever way I can to identify these items and recover them if need be, or destroy them if necessary. But I think we really need to lean into Rashad's experience in this.
That's why I wanted
his lead.
That's why I wanted him to come along. I didn't know what to expect when we went there. I'm not good. I did not take this for sentimental reasons. If we are in greater danger because I have this, I will do what is necessary. But I am not destroying this just because there is a minor concern. And I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but I need more than just a passing worry.
Of course.
I trust you. I trust Rashad. And you're right. He knows much more about this. And hopefully he's still learning much more about this. And as he learns more, I will take what he says. But for now, this is the last piece of my mother. I'm going to hold on to it.
That's really all I wanted to hear. So, if you'd like...
I don't want to talk about this anymore, Callum.
All right.
Not tonight, anyway.
Understood.
And as you all are heading to the Haven, I think right here, I'm going to call this episode, actually. It's been an interesting night. Kat has got a new contact in Callum, but I think Kat will be dealing with him a lot more than the others.
Yeah.
Kat has hopefully a meeting lined up with the werewolves. Rashad got a message out to his cousin. Gwen, masterful attempts to manipulate Hideo. But it's hard to manipulate someone that rigid. And I'm just going to say poor Bo. That's all. Poor Bo. Bo, by the way, you still have a hole in your chest from where you were staked or attempted staking.
Of course I do.
Yeah. But that'll be easy to heal up. Don't worry. It's not aggravated. She didn't get the heart. And I'd like to thank my players and you, the viewers. Tonight, let's see. I'm feeling generous. I'm giving 3 XP for tonight's session.
Thank you.
This was a heavy session in terms of part of the storyline, but also the other storyline. Kat got some extremely valuable information, her and Callum, and some of it I don't think will become apparent how valuable it is until much later. But knowing your house is being built on a ley line,
Fuck yeah.
that may come into play.
Tunic sorcery, here we come.
And I don't know why I would post a ley line list onto the Discord. Join our Discord. Unless it might come up again in the future. Maybe. Maybe.
Of course, that also means because of a conjunction nearby that there's going to be a fucking Cairn.
I would never do that.
Always would do that.
Oh, yes, I would. So we've managed to work werewolves and wraiths in tonight.
Yeah.
That is a positive in my book. That's why I'm giving you a bonus XP, because any episode I can work werewolf and wraith in, that's a bonus. Let me get my fingers right there. Bonus.
Kat, isn't there a saying about strong fences make good neighbors?
That's right. I'm going to build a motherfucking wall.
And speak softly and carry a big stick of silver.
Right.
And of course, thank you to the viewers for coming out for this is only episode 2, people.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all thought we weren't going to start it. No, this season is heavy.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be some fucked up shit going on. So, and it's not just for Bo's part. Trust me, I've got some heavy shit planned for a number of people around here. Callum done killed his own people. Bo found out his mother may be a wraith. Kat's got to have a meeting with werewolves. Rashad's going to meet a cousin. And there's something else planned with Gwen that I'm not going to reveal yet. Though, it does lead that question. Who was her voice that spoke in your head, Gwen? Because I noticed the change in Gwen when she spoke.
Mm-hmm.
Please, everyone, join us on our Discord. This show is cast from our Discord. All these players you see here were members of our Discord. Some of them were new members of the Discord. So I posted up casting call and wanted to play with us. And guess what? Now they're at the table. So please join us on the Discord. We just had a casting call close for our Magi Ascension game to be run by Ravenous Archon. I think he plans to announce the cast members this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to have a guest roster for that one. So,
and then soon he'll actually be posting another one. Now, I don't know exactly how soon, but it's not going to be
he said the next few weeks.
Next couple weeks or so. He'll be posting up one for a spot in our upcoming Dune game.
3 of the players are already set for Dune, but he's got an open spot to fill.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to play in Dune, this would be it's after the Butlerian Jihad, but not at the time frame of the actual movies, so it's a bit of the past.
Mm-hmm.
But you'd get to play with me and Verlaine and Junie and Ravenous Archon, of course. So if you like Dune, you might want to jump in on that. Last time I detonated a las gun with my personal shield and set off a nuke centered on myself.
Yeah. There wasn't any of his character left.
That's what they get. I was a twisted Mintac clone. Fuck them. So please join us on the Discord. You want to catch our back episodes? Go over to our YouTube. All the back episodes of all the McStabber streams are there, except for Call of Cthulhu and D&D 5e. That you have to go over to Ishbel's channel, and that is where Dr. Tis posts up her game. So if you want to see D&D and Call of Cthulhu, you go there. If you want to see anything else, go to the main Shanky's or McStabber Studios YouTube. If you want to see some amazing content creators, one of them's right over here. Check out our friends list there, so you can get in on that. I'll let everyone talk about what they got going on when we get to that point in it. But just so you know, if you want to get some studio merch, go to our merch store, sign in, because some of it's adult. If you want to be a camp counselor of Wish Your Motherfucker Would, I mean, that's a hell of a camp.
Yeah, it is. Camp Wish a Motherfucker Would.
Yep. Would spelled W-O-O-D.
That's a counselor at that camp.
But that's where you do that. I do want to thank everyone for the bits and the subs earlier in the stream. Thank you.
Hype train.
And the hype train. Thank you for everyone who contributed to that, which leads to bits and donations go to the player. I promise this weekend I will be updating for the players their bits totals, because I've been slacking and I need to de-slack my ass on that one. So I'm going to be updating that for everybody. I know, de-slack my ass. I got to get that ass nice and tight. Okay. Make diamonds that way. But thank you. Just so you know, the bits and donations that go to the players, not to the studio. It's a way for you, the viewer, to give to the players. If you want to contribute to the studio, subscribe on Twitch. At least that gets you no ads here on Twitch. But Twitch takes half. So if you want to buy us a coffee, that doesn't nearly take as much of the money that you donate that way. And if you watch on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification icon so you know, because I'm posting up multiple videos a week.
Mm-hmm.
Because we streaming multiple things a week around here.
And I try to keep the front page updated with current chronicles and stuff like that, but I'm not always the quickest to keep it updated, but I really do try.
And eventually, I swear, we'll even get back to Demon. Eventually.
One day.
One day. We've just got so much other stuff to go on.
Oh my fucking God.
Yeah. Once people are getting tired of those shanky, those chains I wrap on them, we'll run demon just to give them that flex stream where they can just be demons and flex like a mofo out there and with no care in the world about what happens to them. Because that's demon, everybody.
I am kind of missing my badass Scourge.
Yeah. They don't give a fuck.
Don't give a fuck. She'll show up in the middle of town looking like a motherfucking angel.
Yep. So, yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about, watch the Demon the Fallen, Demon the Road to Hell on our YouTube channel. Trust me, Demon is a whole different world from this world of darkness.
Oh, yeah.
But, hey, you even see House, you even see Gwen in it. Mm-hmm. Different seasons, but they're both in it. Let's see, I did all our support. Hey, now my wife can give the schedule.
All right. So coming up over the next week, tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, join Tiss and her crew of investigators as they play Call of Cthulhu 7E, London Esoteric Society. It's right, getting close to turn of the century, 1900 London. We're like in the 1890s. And yeah, check them out because they're doing all kinds of sus shit. And it should be quite the crew tomorrow, too, from what I saw in the cast chat. So, yeah. Looking at you, Ree. Looking at you. All right. And then on Wednesday, we will not be having a stream. And we normally stream Dark Ages on Wednesdays. But this coming Wednesday, we are taking just a 1-week break for Dark Ages because our youngest child, our daughter, wanted to go see a movie that is specifically being shown on that night. And only that night. So we are taking her to see that instead.
One night only Final Fantasy movie that's in the theaters.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And then on Friday next week, we'll be back here with episode 3 of season 2. So join us then at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yep. If you think this was going to be a laid back season, no, it's not. The players got a lot more freedom. We're not on rails like in the first season, but I'm not letting up yet. We'll see how this goes. And let's go around the table.
Hang on. Machete keeps asking what Final Fantasy it is.
Advent Children, I think it's called.
Yeah.
I think that was what it was called. It's in conjunction with the release of the new Final Fantasy remake.
Yeah.
So, yep. It's a big one. And she wanted to see it. It's one night only. One night only in English dubbed, one night only with subtitles, and we are going to see the English dub because I'm not going to read the whole time. That's just not enjoying the movie if I'm too busy reading rather than watching what's happening. So
yeah. And she hasn't seen it, so she's really excited.
Yep. So we are going to take her to it. That's what she wanted.
That's like her current hyper focus is Final Fantasy.
So we will go around the table. Gwen over there, Mischievous Red, what you got going on? I know you got moving going on, but other than that.
Yeah, I'm moving right now. But normally I stream on my own channel at Mischievous Red. Speaking of, I will be streaming Final Fantasy 14 when I get back to streaming, and I'll also be streaming mini painting. So that should come back in March, hopefully. So I guess stay tuned because I'll be here in the meantime.
You will. House down there, I know what you got going on.
Nothing really right now. Excited. I mean, now that the Fantastic Four have officially been cast, there's no reason to do the Fantastic Four podcast, the #1 Fantastic Four Fantastic podcast on the internet. And yeah, the other podcast, the Bad Accent Hall of Fame, is still in the works. My hope is this summer.
Oh, well, definitely check out the Fantastic Four. If you're on our Discord, go to the community content creators. It's got a link to the episodes. I've listened to a number of them. It's pretty fucking, there's a lot of deep dive. They do a lot of homework about this. This is not just them throwing stuff, rifting through it. They got some serious homework done to figure this stuff out. Rashad, Ree down there. I know your channel's re-rolls. Tell everybody what you got going on.
So we are currently now streaming over at Rerolls because we are working on 2 new projects. So keep your eyes out for that. But if you want to go and keep up to date on all of our current projects or as recently finished projects, go over and check us out at youtube.com/rerolls. We have a lot of still cool stuff over there.
Go ahead. If you can put a link in chat for that. Callum, you got anything going on other than playing this?
Just here.
And, it's a fun game.
It is. So, I've been having a good time.
And as always, everybody, when we end this stream, Mental health. It's not a joke. It's not a laughing matter. Please take your mental health seriously. Take the mental health of others seriously. I want you to check in on those around you. Make sure they're okay. A lot of people are not. And all it takes is a kind word, a helpful voice, just somebody showing they care to reach out to help them out. And if you suffer from mental health issues, I first of all want to tell you it's okay to not be okay. There's nothing wrong with admitting that you need help, because I can tell you we all need it at some point in our life. No one is an island, that's for damn sure. And if you don't feel you can reach out to your own support network, in chat's a list of numbers you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And there'll be a professional on the other end of the line to help you out, to be that lifeline that I mentioned. If you're not in the U.S., or if you're watching this on YouTube, go to findahelpline.com. Put in your country of origin, find out support network for your country, because mental health is health, everybody. We want you to take care of yourselves, both physically and mentally, because it's important. And now I can turn it over to my lovely wife for her portion of the outro.
Take care of the
sigh.
mind.
That sigh.
Take care of the body. Please get your fucking COVID boosters. Just this past Wednesday, I got word that the CDC has reversed their directive that people that have been diagnosed with COVID infection isolate for 5 days. So that means more people are going to be running around infectious. Please get your COVID booster. And if you get diagnosed, fucking isolate for 5 days. For real. And since you're going to be going to go get your COVID booster, go ahead and get your flu shot too. Okay? Because both of those send people to the fucking hospital and still kill people. Please. It's said with love. And also make sure you are registered to vote. This is a very important election year. Not only because of a presidential election, but also because every single member of the U.S. House of Representatives is up for election. Every single one. And folks in District 20 over in California need to make sure they vote in that special election coming up soon. Let's turn McCarthy's seat blue, please. Please.
Good luck. It's going to be tough, but try.
Please. Show the fuck up.
Yep.
And literally, if you are already registered, make sure that you double check your registration. Make sure that your party affiliation is correct, especially if you live in a state that does not have open primaries. Okay. A lot of states do not have open primaries, and they require you to have a party affiliation to participate in a certain party's primary. So please make sure that you do that. Check that. And in case also, some states will just say that you aren't registered anymore. That's voter suppression. So make sure you check. Get that fixed if you can, because we're rolling in towards the election and cutoff dates vary by state for when you can be registered. So make sure you get registered and that you are currently registered. Thank you so much.
And I do thank everyone for coming. Welcome to season 3. I think or season 2, sorry. The first 2 episodes are setting the pace. Get ready. Good night, everybody.